Hi everyone, this is Sean with Lightning Vapes. Today we're going to be looking at the Universal Tools Coil Jig. Really neat device. It is a 6-in-1 tool. It includes a 2mm, 2.5, 3, and 3.5mm winding rod. Something I haven't seen out of any other company so far. It also includes a Phillips head screwdriver bit and a flathead screwdriver bit. Should work great for atomizer screws and so forth. They're both very, very fine. We have a magnetic bit on the inside where the rod will be inserted. We also have caps that have the diameters denoted on them for all 4 diameters included. Pretty neat. They want to be utilizing the same caps for a couple different diameters versus a cap for each diameter. They can handle anything from 16 gauge all the way up to 40. Of course, on either end of the spectrum, super thin or super thick, it's going to require a bit of finessing. But anybody who's messed with those gauges knows that they are going to require a little bit of finessing anyway. I have pre-made here a nice 16 gauge coil, which was not fun. I did that off screen for a reason. The 18 gauge, which was a little bit more forgiving, and even a nice little 30 gauge. If I don't think I can get the focus to. Well, there we are. Just give you a short demonstration, the pros and cons of this device. Everything is positive except for one minor detail, which I will get to in a minute. So we're going to take our winder. Let's take our head, a 3mm rod, and we will insert the wire into the channel on the side. Straighten up our wire lead a bit. I'm actually going to trim it down. There we are. Let's see if we can get that in focus. There we are. And then we're simply going to let this screw do all of the work. Now the trick here is to not force pressure on the head against the rod. Let the coil do the work. If you wind up squeezing it too hard in this manner, it will squish your coil. You'll wind up wrapping over the coil, and you don't want any overlaps. So just twist and let the winder do the rest of the work. There we have it. Rather short leads. Let's see if I can get a good zoom. There we are. First couple wraps were a little bit off, but every subsequent wrap seems to be very uniform. Well tensioned. Yeah, the only con with this device, similar devices, the Coil Master for example, they have a threaded cap that unscrews here, which allows you to remove the rod by pushing it downward, and thus leaving a loose coil here without the rod. It's much easier to slide this lead out of the hole there. Not the case with this coil jig. Still not a deal breaker for me. There's a couple different ways we can get around this. We can either gently pull the rod up and that lead will come out fairly easily. You can overwrap by 2 or 3 wraps to account for any distortion at the beginning, as well as any distortion that this lead might cause through this channel, and then simply pull those wraps off of the coil so that you're left with the coil length that you originally intended. Very clean. For thicker wires, such as the 16, you may find it beneficial instead to trim the lead right at the entry point of the the insertion channel, which I'll demonstrate here. Again, overwrapping to account for that little bit of loss that you incur. All right, and there we have it. So to demonstrate, I'll trim right at the base of the channel. And the coil is easily removed, much like this. All I have to do is take a pair of pliers, straighten that leg out, and pull 1 or 2 wraps off, however many you accounted for. And you're left with just as clean of a coil. One more thing that I would like to mention. For thicker wires, e.g. 16, 18 gauge, I did notice that the screw for the respective cap does not necessarily always fit. So here is the 3mm rod with the 3mm head. There's not enough space for the wire to pass in between the screw. In any other various configuration where this may happen, it's a very simple fix. All you have to do is move to the next larger diameter on the head, and we can easily, I say easily, this is actually a fairly difficult wire to work with. I do not build with it on a regular basis, but and we're left with the same result. A nice, evenly spaced coil that's fairly easy to get off the assembly. That is my only comment with this device. It is wonderful to have a screwdriver as well as a coil winding tool on one neat, small, very few piece set. So, alright, that is our review on the Universal Tools Coil Jig. You can pick one of these up for pretty cheap at our website. The description will have a link to this particular product. Alright, well that concludes the video. Hope you guys have a great day. Thanks.